Good afternoon everybody, and how are you? My name's Iris Smith and I'm the owner of a small business called The Flower Patch, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. I hope you're all well, guys, and I hope you had a relaxing day yesterday. If not, I hope you kept lovely and busy and you was enjoying what you was doing. Right, last night as I was sat in my house, I received a phone call from a lovely lady called Sharon. Now, this lovely lady has asked me if I could do a crescent-shaped wreath. She's been doing artificial flowers for about a year and a half, she said, around that time. But she would like me to do one so she can watch the video of a wreath in for late summer, early autumn, in the colours of either browns, beiges, things like that, so she could put it up in her hallway as you enter the door. It seems to be a popular thing, placing wreaths in your hallway or arrangements. I think it's wonderful. So I asked the lady, Sharon, if there was any specific flowers that she's got a favourite in mind. She did say she does like peonies. So we're going to use some peonies today. I've got a 14-inch grapevine wreath that I've placed the hook on already. I've tidied it up. I've just spotted a couple of pieces that I've missed, but I've tidied it up so it's nice and neat for us to do our arrangement on. So if you've never done one in the colours of browns or beiges, or she didn't want a dark brown, she wanted just a light coloured brown, like a coffee colour, you know, nothing deep, as a hallway is neutral with cream colours. So that's what we're going to do, guys, today. So for the she wasn't particularly bothered concerning the foliage or anything. She just mentioned she'd just like some peonies. Basically, that was all. Anything else would be a bonus. So I thought today, let's do it. I told her, you know, if she minds if I do a video on it and also mention her name. She didn't mind at all. She said she felt quite important. That was the word. If I mentioned her name, wasn't that sweet? So today I've picked out some dusted. I've got bits of plastic or something. What's on these? I don't know why. That's how they came. But I've picked out these dusted ruscus, and I've gone a bit crazy. I took out a few bunches, and I thought, well, I've not got any on single picks anymore. They're just all bunches I've got. So I went crazy and placed all of these on single picks. So not just for this project. If I've got any left, I can use them for other projects as well. So we've got that. I've got out some fern. I've had a look in my leftover buckets and found a few of the same of this fern. So I've grabbed those out as well. And these are more of a sage green, where they've got a bit of a browny colour on them. At the back of them on some. I'm not sure on the front. Yeah, they've got a few on the front. You can barely see it, but I don't know if you can see a tint of brown or on them as well, where they're slightly fading in colour. going more to an autumn colour. I've decided today, instead of eucalyptus or ficus, I've cut down off a bunch some long-leafed willow. I thought, let's get some of those in for a change and add some long movement in it and make it look pretty with that. I've also got out my maple. Now I've got this maple in a light peachy colour, very light tan or cream colour. So we've got out some maple that I also have cut down and gone crazy and placed them on single picks. I've got the full more bunches up there, but I thought, let's get these chopped down, and again, if any is left, I can use them on other projects, you know, coming towards autumn. I've also found these leftovers in my bucket, 3 more of these. I thought I'd grabbed them all last time, obviously not, but there's just 3 of these twined fern in brown. So I thought, let's just add those in so I can use a few out of my leftovers. I've grabbed and placed on a few picks, not a lot on these, but some very light coffee colour or cream, a mixture. It's got a few different darker pieces on of our berries as well. I thought we'd add those in, and I thought, why not? I've cut the odd piece off and then I stopped because I thought, oh, I don't really know how long I'm going to need these. So, oops, one's fell off. I'll look for that. Our honesty. I thought, I've got this in my house in a big jar, and it is lovely. It really gives off a beautiful effect, especially when the sun shines through it. So I thought, let's get some of that out. I've used it, I think, on a video I did. Oh, here it is. Once before, I think. I'm not sure, once or twice before, but I haven't used it in a while. Not many people tend to ask for it, but I do keep it in stock just in case. So we've got some of those. Now I've got these. These are Japanese Acer bunches, but they are small bunches and they are in a coffee brown, a two-toner, coffee brown and cream, and they are little mini ones. So I thought, let's use one of those. 5 stems on there. You know, I'm sure we could place them in, whether it be as a full stem or chop a little bit off and use as filler, depending on what, you know, how it turns out. And I'll make my mind up as we go along. So we have some Japanese Acer. For our floor, I've also got out just one. I found one piece in the bunch. So I've chopped that off, but it's only a small piece. But I've got some of our anthuriums, our hanging anthuriums, and I thought, let's chop that up like this one that I chopped up at some point, and maybe add those in for a different texture and also a bit of wispy movement. And you know me, guys, I can't not have this movement and this wispiness. So for our floral, I've only got 5 out. I didn't want no more than 5, but our very light coloured, I don't know if, is it like, I can't really say coffee. I think it's more of a light tanny colour, or maybe, I don't know, creamy colour. Who knows? But it's got a little bit of a brown tint to it. Our Gerberas. I had to think then. Our Gerberas. And then, of course, she wanted some peonies. So I've got I've started chopping them down and thought, oh, I don't know how many I'm going to place in. I can't chop them all down, so I stopped. So I chopped a few down, but then again, like I say, I stopped. And they've got a bit of a stilby in them, and also a little bit of hydrangea also in them, with some other pieces of foliage. So I thought they're a beautiful colour. They're like a cappuccino, I guess, but they are a beautiful colour. I'll use those. I could have used the darker ones, but I thought, no, let's stick to a light colour, because like the lady said, she didn't want it too dark. And then I thought, I'm going to need a little bit of white. What shall I put in? Well, again, I've got these in several colours, and they're one of my favourite flowers. So I decided to use white. They're just new stems. I've not chopped into these yet or placed them in anything. Our Cosmos. I've got 2 bunches here. I don't know why I brought 2 bunches out, but I've got Our Cosmos, what's got 3 heads on. They don't come with the foliage, and which I don't mind. I don't mind that at all, because usually when I use Cosmos, I tend to chop above the foliage. So we've got that. I thought that was coming off. But so I've got 2 bunches. I don't know how many I'd get in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 8 stems in one bunch. So we've got our white Cosmos. I did do a bow. I didn't ask the lady Sharon if she wanted a bow. I just naturally did one. But I thought, let's add a few polka dots to go with the berries, because there's not a lot of berries. So let's add a few little bits of circular things with the berries and the honesty. So I've done a bow with the plain, very light ivory colour, and the polka dot in the tan and white. And I've done 6 inch at the back. I've done 1 either side of 6 inch. Then I went to 5 inch and I did 2 of those, 1 either side. And then I did the ivory colour, both at 5 inch, and I did 4 of those. And then I just put an extra strip of ribbon in to create an extra tail end going from the top to the bottom. And I haven't done a centerpiece because I was considering I may place a flower in the center today. So that is what we've got today. So let's just move all of our things further down. And I'm going to place the camera down. And I will attach the bow as we go along. I tend to, when I do my bows, I don't place them on first or last. I usually tend to place them on as I'm going along, because I like to start off with my boundary or my perimeter or line, and then add in bits of other foliage or floral, and then add the bow. So, and then carry on adding other elements so it looks like the floral or the foliage is growing in the bow and outwards. So I'm going to place the camera down again, guys. So one moment. So let's just bring it down here. I think that's a bit. Let's place it there. Oopsie daisy. Excuse me. Right, we're going to start with our longleaf willow. if I work upside down, then you can see it from your angle. So I'm going to start and have the leaves around here, and then I'm going to finish with them around here and leave that bare. So let's first of all place in one around here, and I like these. I love Willow because with it being long, it gives that movement. Let's see if I cut. I just started cutting these. And I want to go opposite and finish around here. If I just get it in. And just bend it outwards. So I've got a little bit of movement going outwards. So I want to stop around there. Just tidy this up. So I'm going to go and place it inwards, like so. I'm manipulating the stem so it just bends a little. So I've got some foliage what's coming inwards into the centre. So I placed the stem on the outside, and now I want to place the stem more towards the centre on the inside. And do the same as I've done there. Just cut that. Oh, I've got a tag on it. I don't like them when they've got the tags where they're stuck. Sometimes I can't get them off. The funeral arrangement that we did yesterday, the lady, Maria name is overwhelmed by them, and she's coming to collect them on Friday. And again, I'm going to go on the outside. I don't want it to go too far down. Excuse me. You may get some leaves like I have what are facing the wrong way. If you can twist them, then that would be great. If not, pull them off and then put a bit of glue on and then stick them back on. Just The stems are quite tough. Oops, a daisy. So again, I'll come on the inside. And I will use this to bend because, again, the stems are extremely tough. Push that one in, make sure they're not popping out at the back. I'm just going to bend that one in a little bit. Just take that off where and then I've got some single ones that I want to place here. So I'm going to put these actually on picks because the stems are extremely tough. It's very cold today outside. It was lovely yesterday. Right, with these I will then now start bringing them one here, and then I'll have the other one in the center. So we can bend that like so. And then we'll place this one in the center. Like that. So we've now created our boundary. And then we're going to now place in, let's see whether we place in our maple. Oh. Yeah, we're going to place in our maple before we place in the fern. So let's get quite a few out. To start with. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to bring some out and also some on the top. And I may at the end bring the odd one on the inside as well. So let's do the outer side first. So I'm just going to bring them relatively just below the long willow. I don't want them past the willow, so they're too long. And as I'm going from 12 o'clock down to 9 o'clock, or if you're doing it the opposite side, it would be 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm placing my stems going down. And then from the 6 o'clock up to the 9 o'clock, I will place my stems going upwards. So from here, let's just get the glue off. I now go up with my stem. And then one more here. Like so. So now we've done those on the outside, I'm going to go and place a few on the top in between each of these. So I form a triangle. So I will place this one here. So now, as you can see, I've formed the triangle. So I will use this one here, which is next to the next maple, and place one in between these two, but on top, to form this triangle, if that makes sense. And I'm lifting them up to give them, I've got glue on it, to give them volume. Whoops. And I'm going to keep doing that till I go right to the opposite end. And again, lift. If you want it more compact and flat, a flat arrangement, then just keep your foliage and floral further down. So if I wanted it flat, I would keep it down like that. I wouldn't lift it up. But because I like it, I like volume, I lift up the foliage and the floral as well. depending on what style you'd like to do. So I've placed in those now, all above and around the side. And again, if I want any on the center, then I will use these that are at the top on top and place one down in between these on the inside. I'm going to place a few, but I'm not going to place them all going round because that would be too much. So I will place one near the top, and I will have this more flatter because I don't want such a long stem, as if I did it would come more into the center, and I don't want to hide virtually all of the center. So I'm going to place in around 3. I don't want any more. And then one down here as well. So I've just placed 3 in the center, so we don't need any more of the maple. So we'll place that there. Now I will get our fern. And again, I've got some leftovers in here. I may have enough leftovers actually. And I want to use these on top. And then once I've placed in these, then I will place in my bow around here. And then I can work around it with the rest of everything that we are using. Let me take the plastic off. We have plastic on the ends here, and I find it's, I don't know, my sister's the same. She doesn't like it either. But we are very alike. And we'll place this going here, and I want to lift this up for movement. I'm not so fussed that that's bent over. I would bend it probably going down, so it just lays, leans down towards the center. So let's get that one in. And I'm placing these just on top, if I can get it in. Like that. Because they do bend over each other. So you may, if you wish, to manipulate the stem. Let's bring that back in. Like that. Do the same again. I'm placing it on top. As you can see, they bend over each other, so I'll bend that stem there so it avoids that one. I'm going to place one in the center. going outwards. And again, just you know, place them within other pieces of foliage to give that more natural look to it. And I'll place one here. Oops, like so. And then another one around here on top of the wreath. That doesn't seem to be grabbing on anything. Maybe a little bit loose, so we'll place it. Let's wipe that glue. And then bring our foliage back up. Like that. I've got another piece. I may bring one out. I'm going to chop this. And I'm going to bring that in the center, going, you know, on top but pointing inwards. Don't want it too much, so I'll do it like that. I've got one piece left. Where can I place this? Let's place it at the bottom with these. Like that. So now we've got our fern in as well, so we don't need that one. So now I'm going to grab my bow, and my bow is going to sit in between these ferns, going out to the side and on the also facing inwards. So I'm going to get myself a weaving needle that I use. It's only plastic, you can get them anywhere. It's just to make it easier by threading your wire through your grapevine. So I just pop one piece of the wire through, bend it over so it doesn't come off of the needle. Look where I'd like to have it positioned. I'd say around there, and then pop it through the top of the wreath, and it will come through the back, and then that will help you pull it through. So just take that wire off that needle, grab your other wire and do the same thing. But don't place the wires in the same position, because your wire needs to be attached around some of the grapevine. If you're placing it in the same position, it's got nothing to attach to. So I will place one there, take that off, just position now my bow. It's around there that I want it, and then grab the two wires at the back and now twist. And I twist about an inch, approximately around an inch, inch and a half. cut the rest of it off. Then grab the wire and turn it and do a U-bend with it and turn it back and push it back inside the wreath. And that is just so I don't scratch anybody's door. So there is our bow sitting pretty. Bring some of your foliage in with it. And here as well. I like to weave my tail ends in around the foliage till it goes to the bottom. It's just something I like, you know, it's just personal preference. If I can't get it to look right, you know, and it doesn't like that, then I will just let it hang or cut it shorter than the other. So we'll leave that for now because it didn't look right. And then we'll carry on. So I'm just going to place, I heard one drop, these little brown ferns in. I'm going to bring one either end and then one around the centre, with them only being 3. So I'll bring that one there. Lift up, place one in there as well, and then the other one on the side. Like that. So that's what we have at the moment. So I'm wanting to place in just some of our honesty. Just to add a little different texture. I'm going to place one on either end again. So whatever I have around here, I like to place on the end, so it flows. Just give that off that little bit different contrast against all the other bits of foliage. Place that there as well. These do get tangled up as well. I must be attracted to everything that gets tangled up. So I'm going to bring one up here. Let's cut that one down. One around the centre. Where the bow is. under here. Like that. I don't want too many of these. I've got one here that I may bring that also in, coming inwards. So I'll cut the stem a bit shorter because I don't want it going right over here. And then we'll do that with that one. So there is our Honesty placed in. Isn't that pretty? So we don't need any more of those. I'm just wondering what I do with those. I may put the probably just 3 pieces or maybe more. I don't know. Oh, I can't help myself. And then there's these. She didn't really ask for, it was just the peonies. So let's chop this up. Where does it finish? Just when you're chopping things up, look for where you can get the bigger stem. Actually, I think you can pull these off. If I can pull them off, then I can place a pick on them. Oh yes, I can pull them off, guys. On that one anyway. So I may place a pick on that one. I'm not sure if you can do it on anymore because they are quite heavy. Let's have a look. No, the rest of them you'd have to do individually. So let's just take that bit off where I placed the pick on. So I think it would have to be about here. So yes, look where you can get the biggest stem. You only need about an inch and a half of a stem to be placed in. That's really heavy. Look how the weight of it is drooping down. So I think I'd have to place that there. It's not really standing up very well. Is there a piece there I can pull off? I've just spotted another piece, so it's not as heavy. So let's just take that little bit off so it doesn't weigh so much. That's better. Just even that little piece makes it, you know, quite weighty. I think it's because the pick's not as thick and as, you know, as heavy or strong, should I say. So I'm going to place this one down near the bottom. And there's a gap here. So I'm going to place it so it just hangs down like that. Just sit it in place. So you've got it like that at the bottom. I'll now use the stronger one. Oh, I've got my ring cord. I use the stronger one for up at the top, which will go there. Like that. So a little bit there. And I've got one here. What could I do with these? Yeah, I'll place those. I'll save the others and put those in my leftover box. There's not many there. So put one under here, and I'm placing these around the side so that with them being quite weighty, they're just going to flop. So I'm cutting the stem quite short so it doesn't look like it's, or give that impression of it flopping. Like that. I could place that on a pick. Do I place it? I'm going to place this little piece on a pick. And I'm going to cut this really short. I'm cutting this to about 1.5 inches, the stem, because I'm going to place this in where the bow is. What's the daisy? Lift it up, then place it and bend it so it looks like it's in the center of our bow. They will probably flop the opposite way once it stands up. Yes, so I've done that so it sits looking like it's in the center of our bow. So we'll place that there. And also it's already looking quite full, which is really pretty. So if you just wanted to stop right here, you could, you know, stop right here and have it as it is without it, you know, adding anything else. I'm going to place in the peonies. Now, where's the peonies that I chopped? That was a bud. Oh, they're so, so pretty. So I'm going to place one of the peonies up above, again near to the end. Because I want some floral up here. I'm going to stick that up. I don't mind if the fern is slightly leaning onto it. I don't mind that at all. Oh, I thought I cut more than that. I've got a bud I may place in the centre as well. And again, I will do the same down here. Bring that up. I may just have a look and place that a little bit further down. That's better. Oops, what's that catching? Right, I've just got a little bit of a stem popping out, so I'm going to chop that off. That's better. So I'm going to do with this board, I'm going to get that in the centre of our bow. So I'm going to do the same procedure what I did with the amaranthus. I may go above if I can find it. Yes. And I'll bring that in like so. And then I'm not going to use these with them having purple on, the hydrangeas. I haven't got another board, so I would have liked another board. I'll bring with 2 more. I'm going to add 2 more of these. I don't need no more of those. So with the others, so then I'll have 5 peonies I will place here. Let me just, I think that one, I'm going to take that one off. So I'm going to place one. We've got these spread out equally like the triangular position. So I'm going to bring one here. So then I form a triangle here. And then I'm going to place one here. So I form the triangle here. So let's get these. I'm leaving the foliage on. I do like the foliage. It's really quite nice. Good, quite good quality as well. So I'm going to leave that on. Just place it in a little bit more. It's better. So I've placed that there. On the, it's not on the top. These 3 are on the top. I'm placing these more onto the side. And we'll do the same with this one. I think it wasn't grabbing, so let's do it again. There we have it. Just make sure, because it's been a little bit wobbly. It's better. So now we've got that in as well. Our berries, I'll place the odd one around, so I'll place that near to the end. Now we've got our Gerberas. I'll bring 2 in around here and then forming the triangle here. So we'll bring 2 in and then I'll place the rest more outwards. So we'll have that there. Like that. we'll do that with that. Oh, my tummy's grumbling. And that one there. And then the other three. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to bring this one outwards to form the triangle on the opposite side. So as you can see, there is the triangle with that. So if you keep just thinking of the triangular position when placing your florals, then it will be, you know, balanced and pleasing to the eye. Use the inside to make a triangle. Use the outside to make a triangle for your placement. I'm just going to put one bit here. For that one. And then one more down at the bottom. So there we have it with our Gerberas in as well. So now I want to look at this Japanese Acer. I don't really feel it's needed. Let me just, I may use it. I don't think I need it as such as a big cluster. I'm not sure. Let's get our Cosmos in. Let's take these apart. We'll take the raffia off. Now this Cosmos is on rubber stems. It's got the wire inside. You've probably heard me many times mention that rubber will melt on when dipping it or putting glue on it. So you can either cut the rubber around, don't cut the wire inside, then you have a long stem of a wire, or if you can pull them off, because there's the wire, if you can pull them off the wire and put, yes, place a pick on, then you can save this for if you've got a spare flower head and you don't know, you can't, you know, you need a stem for it, and you can place this on that instead. So I'm going to place these on a pick because I don't want them extremely long. Let's just pull so many off to start with. Do one more to start with. We may use the rest of them. So let's place my picks on these. I do take off the glue that seeps out of the picks. Just my personal preference. I like to see it neat and tidy. I don't like to see blobs of dried glue. Now everybody does it differently. One, two, three, four, five. How many have I done? 5. Right. First of all, because it's there's a lot, and if you take notice, you know, when you do something like this, if you've got a lot of the same or similar colour or, you know, tone or shade around the top or anything, and you just want to break that up. I don't like the look of that leaf. It's a bit like it's got glue on it. And you want to break that up, then get a bit of white or cream or ivory and then add it in, and that will break up that tone or, you know, or shade of one colour, which you may have like a lot of. Like we have the maple, we have the peonies, we have the Gerberas, we have the bow, we have the honesty. There's a lot of the similar tone or shade of one colour around. So the only green we've got in is the fern and the willow at the moment. So I want to break that up because to me, as much as it looks pretty so far, it's too much of one colour for my liking. So again, everybody's different. So I will then get a lighter tone of another colour like ivory, cream, white, and place that in to break up that, you know, that colour. And then that will then, to me, you know, my professional eye will make it more pleasing. Not just to you, but also to your customer if you're selling it, or if you're just giving it to a family friend. So by placing those in, it's, you know, lifting that one tone. If that makes sense, everybody. And then I'm going to bring one around here as well. Break it up around here. Also, there's a bit of a gap here, so I'm going to bring one here. So we'll do the same as we're going round, just breaking up the colours so it just doesn't look too much. When I trained many years ago with real flowers, I hate saying many years ago, guys, because I mean, what is it? 34 years ago. 34 years ago. Is it? Yeah. Is it 18, 20, no, 28, 30, 37 years ago. 37 years ago. Oh gosh, that sounds awful. That sounds awful. But when I trained 37 years ago, university, gosh, oh gosh, I was always told by my tutor, I mean, the course wasn't just a year, it went on. It was a 3-year professional course in floristry, and then after that I went on another 2 courses. So in total I did about 5 years in floristry for training, and then I did a course on running a business in floristry as well. So we was always taught to, if you're doing one sort of tone, don't do, if you've done quite a lot of that same shade, add in, a lighter colour of floral to sort of like bring it alive. And if you don't, it could, depending on the tone that you're using, it could make it look dreary. Basically, make it look miserable, especially when you're doing browns or blacks or anything like that. So I was always taught that's the way, it were, and I've always stuck by that, and I do it, and always add in a lighter colour to make it more pleasing to the eye and softer. On some things it can also soften it if it's such a dark colour. Now with reds and burgundies, I wouldn't necessarily use a bright white. I'd probably use more of a ivory colour if I was going to add in, or a cream colour, because a bright white can make it too, in my professional eye, too much. But some people do like the bright, the white as I call it. But I mean, I'm not saying it looks horrid, but just as my professional opinion, it can be too much depending on the shade of whatever you may be doing or the colour choice. Right, I'm placing these around, as you can see, just the odd ones around the edge. I'm placing 4, because I've got 4 left, and I'm placing them where the peonies are, with them being the darkest tone of the browns. I can't get that in. Let's cut it shorter. And this isn't a white, this is more of an ivory, these Cosmos. So we'll go to the next peony and we'll do the same. Just place that Cosmos underneath so it just doesn't look too much, because we've got the maple, around the peony as well. So we'll lighten it and soften that tone around there also. So that's what we've done. So as you can see, we've done that around where the peonies, I nearly called them hydrangeas. Why, I don't know. But where the peonies are, because we've got the maple and the honesty around it. So just to soften underneath as well as just on top. You know, it's not all about softening it on top. You have to think about the sides as well to soften those areas up as well, where you've got the same colour and also floral and foliage. Right, personally, because of the colour, I'm not going to put this Japanese Acer in, guys, because I think it's too much. It's going to add more of this tone in, and it's going to, I'm going to then have to add more, you know, ivory in or cream colour. I've got these, I made dot, oh, there's one missing there, made dot just the odd one of these berries around, and then I will place in the dusted ruscus. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to bring one again around the end, bring it not exactly next to the peony because it's the same colour, just drop it down a little bit underneath so it's not as noticeable or clashes with that same colour. And I'll bring one here near the Cosmos with it being white. Well, I say white, ivory. If I can just see. I'll have to cut that a little bit more. And I'm placing those so they're just slightly sticking up so you can just see them at the top. And I'll place one down at the bottom again so it's not clashing with the peony. Down there. Place one in here. Now I want to just add one around here on the inside. So just lift up that. So you can just see. Popping inwards. Now I could easily bring the odd one on the outside. I don't like that. 2. So I'm going to just place 3 on the outside. Right at the bottom, in between the foliage, where the Gerberas is. And again, I don't want it being too noticeable. I just want it to blend in. I find that's the best when it comes to people looking at their arrangement, spotting different things as they're looking at what's in it. Then they may see, let me just see, I felt something. Right, I've just seen, I don't know what that is. A wire, I think. I've got a little bit of a stem here hanging. Again, you can either pull it out and replace it. And I've got one here. Or you can just cut it shorter but go slightly in. Let's check for any more. No, that's it. I may cut that to about there. I think let's just, I don't want it too much shorter. Probably around here. Just leave it around that area. So we've now done that. So now we are on to, I just place these berries back, onto our last foliage, which is our ruscus. So we'll place those there also. So now this is where I'm going to be just dotting things, you know, our foliage around. And just adding a bit of now more, and the reason, before I carry on, the reason I'm using a bit more foliage now is because there is not a lot of greenery in here concerning in the colour green. So what I am doing is now bringing these single little picks I've created on top to blend in with the tones of the coffee colour, things like that, and the whites, just to bring that green through to make it look like now this greenery is growing through the floral and the ribbon and everything that's up above on top. So that's what I'm doing, because there still is a lot, again, a lot of, when you look, of the neutral tones and the coffee colour tones, and not, you can see the little bits of willow and the odd little bit of fern, but you can't see a lot of it. So I don't want to have a lot of it, of these longer foliage, so I'm incorporating shorter foliage to make it look like it's, you know, also pot, looking like it's growing through everything that's up above and around the sides. So I will cut, if that makes sense. I know sometimes I can waffle, as we call it. So if you see when I place this in, if I just find a space for it, because we need a little bit of green up above. That's what I'm trying to say. So by adding just that, because you've got these colours around here, 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 all around, you need something of a different colour in here. So the best colour to choose is, because I've not got a lot, I've not used a lot of it, is the foliage. You can get, you can place in lighter foliage or darker foliage. It's entirely your choice. But you know, add in just that extra little bit of foliage to break up, you know, that colour, instead of having to use, you know, a floral. Just add in extra foliage instead. So I'm gonna bring one here because there's a lot of that colour, the neutral colours and the coffee colours around here, and I'm going to do the same here. So as you can see, there's all the same, or tone, well, colour or tone in the same, you know, family, and there's nothing really in the centre of it to break it up. So I need to get and add in some foliage instead of a floral and break that colour up to, so it doesn't look too much in that area. So that's what I mean when I say I'm breaking it up. It's so it doesn't look too much of the same colour, or if you've got, you know, because there's virtually all next to each other. So I need to get that foliage in and bring in the green to break that up so it doesn't look too much. So I'm starting just doing the top first, and even do it around your bow as well. And again, it's the same around here. Because of the bow and the maple, so we'll add that in. And then once we've done around the top, we will then go around the sides. I think I need one around here. Just to break that up as well. Let's just have a look. So if that makes sense, if you can see it now, where there was a lot of this colour and with the peonies and that, I've placed in a bit of more greenery to break that colour up from having too much of it. So I've used the foliage, which is one of the best options to use instead of adding more floral. So now I will place some on the outer side as well, where I see a lot of it. And I'm not going too far out. I do like my wispy wreaths. On this occasion, I'm not doing a big, you know, going too wispy. So I'm just lifting up, looking for that area where there's too much, and then placing a piece of russet in there to add a bit of green. There's quite a bit there. Sorry if I'm lifting it, guys. I just need to lift it to get the stems in. Then I will bring the odd one on the inside as well. So I'm covering all areas from, you know, looking like there's just too much of one colour there. So take, you know, if you can, take that into consideration. I can get this in, crikey. Bring that there. Let's get that glue string. And if you, excuse me, if you can see how it has actually softened it up, especially on the top here. Right, there's quite a bit there. So let's get one in there. And there's quite a bit in here. So we'll place one there. So I've placed those around the side. So as you can see, they're all around the side going around. So now I want to place just a few on the inside. So I will probably put about 3. I will cut these much shorter, yeah, because I don't want these sticking too far out. And let's stop it from looking too much on the inside. Especially around the bow. Place one around your bow. As well. And there's a big one. Quite a bit here. Let's break that up. As well, get the glue string. Let's have a look down here. Yeah, I'm going to need one here. Right where the maple is down below. I don't think I'm as fond with that sticking out, so I'm gonna cut that off. I may place a pick on it. I've got a spare one here as well, and just shorten these 2 pieces of fern. Now I'll grab just some little pieces of picks that I've cut that are in the bin, and just attach those instead of using fuller ones. I just cut it off, guys, because it was just sticking out a little bit too much. So I wanted to shorten it. And I'll shorten this one as well. Seeing that we've got a spare one, we'll use them both. That. And then this one. That's better. So then just fluff your bow. Get your loops looking really pretty. And as you can see, like I said from the beginning, I'd want my floral and foliage to be looking like it's growing, you know, in with the bow. So that is that. So guys, that is for the lovely Sharon, to give her an idea, our beautiful, it's like neutral tones with coffee colour in it as well. Wreath, looking absolutely really pretty, which would look lovely on an entrance hallway, what Sharon would, you know, would be using it for, and sitting there proudly. I think that's wonderful colours, and not a lot of people that I know tend to use coffee colours. I have spoken to the odd florist who said that they tend to be a bit scared of the colour. Oh no, don't, you know, and I've tried to reassure them not to, you know, be scared. And anybody else out there, if you're scared of the colour because of the tone or the shade of it, and you're not sure what to place with it, I hope that this has given you an idea, and also it's shown you that, you know, they do look beautiful, you know, with these tones, and they would sit really proudly anywhere. And plus, with it being this colour as well, yes, it's like late summer, early autumn colours, but at the same time it's not too, you know, dark for the browns and the reds and the orange, deep oranges for autumn. So this could be hung in your home all year round, because it's just got the, you know, the ivory coloured cosmos, and the rest is like the Gerberas. So, and then you've got the coffee coloured peonies, and the rest is, you know, tones and shades of brown and neutral. So that would sit anywhere all year round in your home without you having to change it. And if you ever decided to change it, pull the main flowers out and just add a different colour. You know, you may want to add white flowers in instead and just have it all white and green. You know, that would look really pretty. So that is, you know, really pretty. I really do like that. So thank you, Sharon, for your request. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to, oh, I've got everything all over me. I'm going to place it on the easel, place the camera up. Oopsie daisy. I've lost my, oh, it's there. Let's get it up. So I'm going to just bring the camera down, or up should I say. Oh, it's a lovely colour. If you can see, I know it doesn't help with me having florals behind it, guys. It really doesn't. But that's where I hang, you know, some of my things when they're up for sale, and what I've done on the video as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, it's a beautiful colour. Don't be scared of it, guys. You know, you can, if you don't want peonies and you just want it as a summery colour in the coffee colours, you can use like the cream coloured sunflowers. They would look really nice. You know, you could use those instead of the peonies, or instead of the Gerberas. You know, you can get mini sunflowers that are in the same colour as these Gerberas. And if you don't want to use peonies, you could use coffee coloured roses. You know, they would look pretty as well. Or if you can find some hydrangeas in that, you know, brown tone, then, you know, that would also look pretty as well. And if you don't want fern in, maybe use some grasses, something what's a bit long like this, just to add that movement. So things like that, grasses. Or if you don't have this amaranthus, maybe use something like a stilby, veronica, salvia, you know, things like that. And if you don't, again, you don't have honesty, don't worry about it, guys. I didn't have honesty for a long time, and it just came across it one day on my wholesalers. I spotted it. I thought, let's get some. So if you don't have the honesty, I'm trying to think what you could use in replace of it. You could use, you know, little I forgot what they're called, like succulent flowers, flowering succulents. You could use those. You could even get like just anything wispy, you know, a foliage of, you know, with a colour, a cream colour, because you can buy cream coloured foliages or a tan coloured foliage. And or just add in something different to that, or an extra foliage concerning maybe it could be a ficus. You can get it, I can get it in brown, so you could add ficus in there as well, or add some twiggy bits in instead of this honesty. And the maple, I mean, that's a beautiful colour. I bought these from the wholesalers where they was on a garland. I bought quite a few. I've still got another garland here with a full garland, 2 full garlands there of the same. I don't want to run out because I like it so much. But if you haven't got this coloured maple, maybe you could get the, you know how you can, I think I've got some, like a reddy tone, a reddy brown tone. I can see it, it's up there. You could get that instead of this colour, you know. And if you haven't got the cosmos, maybe you want to put in a daisy, you know, something like that. Or if you've got like little ranunculus, use those. Or, you know, just the carnations, you can use those, chrysanthemums, anything, guys, absolutely anything. You know, it would always look pretty. So, and again, if you don't have the long willow, use ruscus. You know, you could use that, or use the ficus, you know, anything like that, just to give that elongated effect where it makes it look quite long. Even though I've not gone right down to the bottom like I usually would, I'd carry it and make it really wispy. I've kept it more, well, slightly more compact than what I would usually do it. You know me, guys, I like to, as you can see, the one behind me, go quite far out from the wreath. But I've kept this 5.5 inches within the wreath. Usually I'd probably go about between 9 and 12 inches outside the wreath. but I do quite like this. I'm trying to think if I've got a place in my house now where this could go. Maybe in my entrance hallway. But again, if you don't want to do it in these colours, you know, you don't have to. You can do it in the choice of colours, whichever you prefer. It would all, I'm sure, you know, it would always look beautiful. And again, if you're doing it, and if you, because you've got a lot of these tones in the same similar shade of the same family, basically, you know, from the whites to the coffee colours, all, or the you know, the ivory and the creams, up to the coffee colours and the browns, you know, it's all in the same sort of family, as we call it. Then instead of adding more floral to try and break up that colour, because there's a lot of it together, get little bits of foliage to just pop in there, like I have with the ruskers. Just pop that in, and whether it be boxwood, tarragon, and it, you know, maybe thyme, you know, something smaller, just to pop in and break up those colours. Dot them around to break it up, so it doesn't look like you've got a cluster of one colour just there by itself or in several places. So break it up with foliage, and that would make it look really pretty. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Please subscribe, share and like, you know, to everybody who you know. Get them to come along and enjoy what we're doing, you know, and maybe even if they're just starting out, it could give them a few ideas and inspire them, you know, on colour choices, because I know when I first started, trying to find the correct colour, you know, was, you know, a chore in itself, you know, because I wasn't very good at matching colours, thinking, oh, well, that would go with that nicely. You know, I'd probably put a colour what's opposite on the colour chart wheel, what wouldn't really go. And I'd think, oh, well, you know, I'm going to be different. But then when it, you know, I'd done it, it just didn't look right. So that can be quite, you know, frustrating to start with and confusing for new beginners. So bring them along, and, you know, as I'm going along, and you'll see the colour choices that I've, you know, I've chosen. If you want, you know, you can either grab a notepad, write them down, what colours I've used and what they go. So like here, you've got your coffee colour, then you've got your tans, then you've got your creams, then, you know, then you've got your lighter tan, and then write those down, and then put your green colour. You've got a, you know, your light green here, your sage green, your dark green, again, different tones of green, and write down, you know, those on a notepad, and then go and have a, you know, wander off and go and have a look at what you want to do in whichever colour, and have a go. And that will, you know, it will start to come to you that you understand, you know, colours. So give it a go in any colour, guys. Have fun, and again, press that subscribe button. Keep your comments coming. I really do appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. God bless and good health, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Let's just have a close up. Just take it off the stand. Oh, it's doing that thing. I don't know why it keeps doing that, where it's not focusing properly. Look, can you see when I'm trying to get the peony? Now I have to switch the light on and then switch it back off for it to focus. Weird. So there's the beautiful coffee coloured peony. Isn't that pretty? And then we've got our beautiful maple again. The same family of colour, but a different tone. And then we've got our beautiful Ivory Cosmos, and our lovely Honesty with the dark brown little fern there. And then we've got again our sage leaf fern here, and our dark green willow, long leafed willow. and our beautiful little dusted ruscus, which is a light tone. We've got our cream coloured amaranthus. That was, you can get that in trailing as well. So, you know, if you want it in trailing, you could also grab it in trailing. And then we've also got our beautiful, I'll show you here, in fact, our beautiful Gerbera in that colour as well. I can't remember what else I've placed. Oh, and our berries. We've got our lovely little berries there, as you can see, with a darker tone on those as well. So, and then our bow. Again, this one hasn't got any wire in it. And then you've got the polka dot one here as well. So if you wish to have a go, any colour, guys, give it a go, have fun, enjoy it, and be proud of yourselves, because I'm proud of you all. So have a wonderful day and keep creating. Bye for now.